Update in the case Nolan Wells tops our national lead. Today, the NAACP announced that it is working with the family's attorneys and with Ben Crump to push for answers and accountability. It has been more than a month since Nolan's death and still no clear answers as to how he died, why he didn't come home with the people he went boating with on July 4th, or where the state's investigation stands. Nolan would have turned 19 on Wednesday. Joining us now is NAACP President and CEO Derrick Johnson. Mr. Johnson, so the Wells family hired Ben Crump in early July. Why is the NAACP joining the legal team now?
Well, we believe we can bring some expertise to support the family and that community to get answers. Our general counsel is the former head of the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division with some background and experience in matters such as this. And we want to make sure we can provide the maximum amount of support possible. And this is one of the ways we are seeking to do that.
So Mississippi investigators had previously said that Dr. Roger Mitchell, the forensic pathologist who performed the independent autopsy, will be able to review the internal throat structures before the case goes to a grand jury. Are you hearing anything about a potential meeting or review happening this week?
Well, we're hoping that local and state officials will be fully cooperative and transparent with the family. Up to this point, it left a lot to be desired. And quite frankly, a lot of Mississippi residents lost confidence in whether or not this case was being taken serious. So hopefully there are steps in the right direction so that the family can get answers and there's more transparency in how the investigation is going.
I want to read something to you. Earlier this month during an interview with Sean Tindall, who's the Mississippi Department of Public Safety Commissioner, my colleague Victor Blackwell brought up Benjamin Crump's remarks about Mississippi's history of racial tensions. Now, Tindall, who is white and he grew up in Mississippi, he said the state has changed over the decades. He said, quote, this is Sean Tindall talking, "I had a lot of black friends through high school. I went to integrated schools. The days of the past in the 40s and 50s or 60s is something that most Mississippians my age and younger don't know anything about, including my children. So we see the world a lot different than those that tainted our history as a state. And I can tell you it's a much different place than it was back then." I know you worked in Mississippi. What's your response to that?
Well, action speaks louder than word. I'm still a resident of Mississippi, and the state needs to deal with the perception with some real actions. It is unfortunate we are a month out. The initial response to the case was from the sheriff, who took the words of the four young men as if it was fact and had not done a true investigation. We are entering this conversation with no preconceived notions of anyone's involvement. But what we are saying is, up to this point, the family have not gotten the type of support and transparency from local or state law enforcement agencies. I don't know if the State Bureau of Investigation has gotten involved. It leaves too much to be answered. And so we're going to provide as much support as we can, both to the legal team and to the family, because we think it's important.
So what are the first steps as part of the legal team? What is the NAACP going to do?
Well, first step have already taken place. We're working directly with Ben Crump and his team. We're reviewing through our general counsel some of the information they have found, and they're putting together a strategy to move forward. Christian Clark is a skilled lawyer. She served as the head of Civil Rights Division. She's seen cases where the FBI and others had to go in to investigate, and we're hoping her expertise and our reach as an organization would add value and hopefully get this community some answers.
How is the family holding up?
Well, as any family would, I can only imagine. I mean, you know, your child go out with a group of friends, they come back with his cell phone and he goes missing and later found unalive. I can only imagine the grief that the family is feeling, particularly the mother. And I hope individuals would hold that level of compassion, because it could be any of our children. The goal here is to ensure the family, that community, get answers so we can move forward as a community across the state of Mississippi and, for that matter, across the country.
NAACP President and CEO Derrick Johnson, thank you for your time today.